Aloha. I'm super excited about having a beginner golfer joining the One Swing membership, and I had mentioned that she joined, I would do an in-home beginner lesson. And it's just a great way to get any beginner to get started, and also for my advanced golfers to use this as a way to reinforce what you're working on. So everything I'm going to talk about technically is something that, yeah, you're going to have advanced versions of it, but it's a great reminder, and it's stuff that I work on to this day. And then you're going to realize, wait a minute, these are the things that I have talked about, whether you're beginner or advanced or intermediate. So this is good for everyone. This is also good for anyone that's trying to get somebody to enjoy the game more as a beginner, because what I find, we'll start stretching while I'm talking about this, but what I find is most golfers give up after their first few attempts at hitting a golf ball at the driving range. And I see why, because one, they're usually with people that have never taught a beginner. Also, if they can't get the golf ball up in the air or even make contact, it can be embarrassing, and it can be a high expectation that is not only given by the beginner themselves, but from their playing partners, from others, thinking that they should make contact right away. Those are the things that I want to talk about, because I've taught so many beginners. I've helped them through that awkward stage. And what's cool is I've had every beginner that I've ever taught have been able to get the ball up in the air on their first day and make contact immediately. And what that does is give them confidence to continue, and they end up getting a full set of clubs and taking their game to a whole nother level or many levels, and it just becomes a fun thing. So I've helped a lot of golfers stay in the game after their first day. And I'm going to talk about not only certain things that you can work on, but also the mindset is very important, because the expectations can get in the way, not only for the beginner themselves, but the people that are trying to help them. If you're a golfer, how many times have you gone to the range, and whether it's a dad and a son, or a girlfriend and boyfriend, or husband and wife, and one of them is helping, and you can tell that the beginner is frustrated because they can't make contact or hit the ball up in the air, and then the other partner or friend can get kind of frustrated, or they rush the process, like, no, just do this. And if it doesn't work, they throw 5, 6, 7, 10 things at them. And so it's not their fault either. It's just that expectation's there. And I want to just kind of explain how to process the beginner stage. The most important thing is to not have any expectations. Kind of go out there feeling like, you know what, you don't care. You don't care how it looks. You don't care to hit a golf ball. You just are going there to just try something new. And I didn't know that this part was really hard for people, because I'm really good at being a beginner at something. If I've never bowled, or if I've never played tennis or whatever, I don't go out there thinking that, I don't think of anything. I just go, okay, well, let's see what happens. And if it doesn't go well right away, I'm not embarrassed. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm new. And you've got to give yourself that break, not only for yourself as a beginner, but for the people that are helping a beginner. So if you're helping a beginner, go out there like no expectations and be silly and just laugh about it. That's what I do as a beginner at anything, whether it's cooking something new or whatever. It's just like no expectations, give yourself that break. The other thing that I notice is there's a lot of quick tips and gimmicks that are taught that I am going to talk about some today, but that's why I do videos and talk about them, because they can slow you down. It can also create a lot of expectations, like this works for everybody, so it should work for you. As a golf instructor and have taught thousands and thousands of lessons, I've seen people come to me after so many years of doing those quick tips and gimmicks, and how it has not worked for them, and it has really frustrated a lot of golfers. I can speed you through that so that you can overcome it. So watch my YouTube videos. I talk about those a lot, like gimmicks and quick tips that you want to avoid. I'll talk about a few today, and then I'll talk about some key things that you can do at the range to keep it simple and productive. But the key is, don't try to get the golf ball up in the air. Okay, so you'll see in other lesson videos that I have in the membership site where I talk about it to advanced golfers, because most golfers try to get the ball up in the air and they don't succeed, and it ends up going really low for the rest of their golf career. So I'm trying to get not only beginners, but just regular golfers that have been playing for a long time to get the golf ball up in the air and have accuracy and power. Because you don't want to just get the golf ball up in the air. You want it to have power, and you want it to continue to gain distance as you play. You don't want to max out. So sometimes it's like, oh, I got the golf ball up in the air, but then you've maxed out on your distance because it's not the right motion. So some of the things I'm going to talk about today will seem very simple, but I want you to really take it in, because I have made something complex seem very simple, but it's something that you're going to have to work on and repeat for a while. But the good news is everything that I'm going to talk about have helped so many golfers, beginners, make contact from day one. Like a lot of them just immediately. So one thing that I would get away from, these are a few quick tip things, is keep your head down. You're going to hear that a lot. They're going to say, keep your head down, and I wouldn't worry about that. Because if you worry about your head right now, there's more moving parts that are important. So if you think about that, everything else gets more restricted, and I want you to feel more fluid right now and not worry about things moving and bodies swaying and things like that. So that leads to the second thing, is you'll hear don't sway, like don't move off the ball. Don't move your head, don't move off the ball. But right now, it's like you're just trying to figure out your body in space. You know, that's where golf is challenging. And I want to mention this, that it's challenging, and to know that, you know what, it's going to take time because it's challenging. So a lot of times people, beginners especially, go, gosh, I didn't know this was that hard. It looks so easy. And that's the issue, is it looks easy. Go out there and keep it simple. Treat it like it's something simple, but also understand that it is a complex sport. It requires a lot of moving parts so that you're good to yourself. That's the main thing I teach people. It's like, be good to yourself. It's a complex sport. And it looks easy, because even athletes that have played other sports and they're really good at baseball, basketball, football, and they're like, the ball's just sitting there. Like, how can that be hard? And they'll miss the ball and they realize, wow, this is very difficult. And so it's good to know that. If not, what happens is, a lot of beginners, they think it's supposed to be easy because they're like, oh, the golf swing looks so fluid and the ball's just sitting there. And when they miss it, they think there's something wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you. Seriously, I've seen top athletes from other sports struggle with this game. And there's nothing wrong with you. It's not that you're not athletic, not coordinated. It does help, like there is that talent level of it, but you can learn it. Seriously, like I've had people that have never played a sport. I mean, they have said they're not athletic, not coordinated at all, and they learn to do the right motion and learn coordination and athleticism. So don't give up on it right away when it doesn't work for you. Make it like, you know what, this is cool. Like it's a sport that takes time to get better, and then there's so many levels to it, and it's entertaining that way, because sometimes when you learn something quickly and easily, then you're on to move on to other things. And so it has that challenge. It's really exciting. So those are things that I'll talk about even in future videos. To get your mindset in order. If not, what happens is I could tell you the right fundamental thing and you could have some success, but if your mindset is wired kind of what a lot of beginners are, then it's easy to give up. If you really want to try and get better and you really want to enjoy it, it's something that I would love for you to try to get over, and I'll help you along the way. What I would like you to do is practice with a pitching wedge or a 9-iron, and nothing longer than that at this point. And preferably, if you're a woman, a lighter club, lighter shaft, a ladies club or a men's senior shaft, but you don't want to get too strong of a club. And just pitching wedge, 9-iron. And what I'd like you to do is hold the club like a baseball bat, okay? And I have other videos in this membership where I talk about different grips, but for now, just do a baseball grip. It's a 10-finger grip for golf, but I call it the baseball grip. You just wrap your hand around it. And then what you want to do is feet about hip width apart. For now, you can over time shoulder width apart, but you can do like hip width or shoulder width apart. And then just dangle your arms, like keep the club above the ground for now. At some point you'll have it on the ground, but you just want to have it just above the ground. And what I'd like you to do is take the club and just move it to the side and through. And while you do that, feel your hips, and they're not doing much. They're not turning much, and they're not staying still, and it's not doing this too much. And as a beginner, what happens is, this is very common, is you try to do too much and you end up picking the club like this. And then the arms get bent and twisted, and then the wrists get twisted. So you get sort of in a pretzel kind of position. So what I want you to work on is aligning everything, and it's less moving parts. A lot of times I have to teach golfers that have played for 20, 30, 40 years, and this is difficult for them because they are twisted also, because it's something that they've done as a beginner, and then they just continue to do that, not iron it out. So what I'd like you to do is just do this. It will help you as you get better, as you play more. If you don't do things like this, you'll manage to hit a golf ball at some point like this. You'll figure it out. You'll dig it out of the ground, but it's not going to advance your game. At some point, you're going to quickly max out on accuracy and distance. And while you're doing this, watch sometimes, like stop sometimes and look at yourself and go, wait a minute, why is my hips over here? Why is my arms over here? You know, like kind of catch yourself and then realign and then do it again. So it's all about mind and body awareness, because it seems easy. You'll be like, okay, I got it, what's next? But to do it again and again, and then put your club away, like let's say you're at home or at the driving range, and then 10 minutes later, can you do it again? And can you do it again? Practice getting that alignment and less moving parts. So that's going to be the challenge, because there's a lot going on and you don't even realize at this point that this, which looks easy, is very coordinated and balanced. That's the first thing I'd like you to do at home. You know, just don't do anything longer at this point. And if you do, make sure you have a lot of space, because I've seen people not used to swinging at home, or even if you're an advanced golfer, like if you're not used to swinging at home, then you don't realize how much space you need to swing. When it starts feeling somewhat robotic, it's actually a good thing, because you're starting to get some things in your swing more stable. So the stability will feel robotic. You know, this will feel loose. This will feel kind of natural. This is what happens to a lot of beginners. So the arms just kind of fold. You just feel like you think you need to pick the club up like this. So when it starts to feel robotic, it's a good thing. Because then things are like tightening in the right areas. You're becoming more purposeful. This is for beyond beginners. This is also way advanced. The more advanced you get, you're going to have suppleness and flexibility, but you're also going to have that robotic, purposeful feeling. So it's a good thing. It's not just random, you know. And you can play golf randomly if it's doing the right thing. Sometimes people fall upon a good motion and they just kind of do the same thing, and it can have compensations, but they keep repeating it, it's worked for them. Unfortunately, a lot of those golfers at some point hit a wall because their motion didn't have the proper fundamentals, and so it just doesn't carry them further into a better golf game. Now, the next thing I'd like you to do is when you go to the range,